Hi students, very good morning. Myself L.K. Tripathi from LPM Public School. Dear children, we have a new video today. The discussion is human resources. This is your geography portion. We shall study about the human resources. This chapter will enable us too much to know about the human resources. How human skill supports for the developmental activities, how human can change the resources into usable manners. All such types of things are there in this topic, which we will discuss deeply and interestingly. So let's get started it. Introduction. First of all, let's find the introduction of this topic. Human beings are a connecting link between resources and development. It is only due to human beings that most of the resources are harnessed and utilized. This is very true. The resources which we find from the earth or inside the earth, that is not useful until we don't make them usable. And to make them usable, the human resource, human skill, human expertization is very much essential for that. So we can say without human practice, human skill, we cannot use the resources into the usable manner. Human resource is treated as the pivotal factor capable of determining the extent of growth achieved by the country or region. Thus, resource development is closely associated with human development. Human resource, that is the resource which is treated as the pivotal factor capable of determining the extent of growth achieved by any country or region. The resources is unevenly distributed in the world, in the countries, and they are used in different manners as per availability of the resources. Thus, resource development is closely associated with human development. So, there is a deep and intense link between the resource development as well as the human development. In order to enhance the quality of human resource, good education and training for skill development are of vital significance apart from food, clothing and shelter. When we go to utilize the resources, first of all human quality is required there. And human quality can be developed by good education and training for skill. There is proper training required for the use of resources, and for that a good education is essential for the human beings. Apart from food, clothing and shelter, except all these things, the skill education, skill development is also essential for that. In India, the human resource development, that is SRD ministry, that is working at the national level, and this ministry looks after all the welfare or all the developmental activities related to the human beings, specifically set up to ensure that our population receives the right education, skills, proper food and good health care to equip it for various developmental activities. The main work of this ministry is to look after the education, right education, skills, proper food and good health care. That should be raised to all the needy people living in the country. This ministry adds to do so, means looks after all these things in proper way. Next, that is Japan's development after World War II is a striking example of how human resource, skill and technology can work wonders in a land where few resources are present. The best example of Japan is there. In the World War II, Japan was totally destroyed. The bombing took place on Japan, Nagasaki and Hiroshima in 1945, and Japan was broken absolutely. But this is the human skill and the willpower of the Japanese who again got their old, their previous standard and strength within very soon time. So this is a great example. After destroying all the things, all the resources, again they got the same. This is the support of the technology, resource, skill, and well-beings. The US has lower density of population than many countries. No doubt about that. However, with excellence, skill, and knowledge, it has provided the stimulus to development. On the other hand, the dense population with few skills and expertise in many parts of Asia and Africa are still moving slowly, albeit steadily, on a path that will surely lead to development. Now distribution of density of population. अब हम डेंसिटी ऑफ पॉपुलेशन का डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन देखते हैं. The world's population is unevenly distributed. North and South America, that account for almost 25% of the land surface, have barely 12% of the world's people. Asia, on the other hand, occupies about 17% of the land surface area, but supports more than 50% of the world's population. No doubt about that. डेंसिटी ऑफ पॉपुलेशन हम देखते हैं कैसे इसको इफेक्ट करता है डेंसिटी ऑफ पॉपुलेशन. World of population that is unevenly distributed everywhere, that is North and South America, that accounts almost 25% of the land surface, have barely 12% of the world's people. Asia, on the other hand, occupies about 17% of the land surface area, but supports more than 50% of the world's population. So this is also the main factor of the progress and developmental activities. The South Africa example is there, North America, both have near about 25% of the land surface and barely 12% of the world population. Only 12% population of the world they cover, but Asia is such a continent alone which occupies about 17% of the land surface area, but supports more than 50% of the world's population. So how much differences are there between North and South America as well as Asia? Asia alone covers such density of population, which is the main cause of the backwardness of this continent in the developmental activities. Rest the portion which we have discussed already in the next video. This is your second video of the explanation. So I have got it for your better knowledge. That's why we are discussing here. Now let's move ahead. Europe has a small area but a considerable percentage, about 10% of the world's total population. In spite of larger areas, Africa has just 12% of the global population. See the world map and you will notice that within the continents, the distribution of population is extremely uneven. Areas which are ice-bound, arid or mountainous have few people compared to the plains and river valleys that have the greater concentration of population. Many vast expanses of desert and ice caps are virtually inhabited, while parts of the Gangetic Plains is densely populated. The distribution of population is best understood not just in terms of the numbers living in a country, but in terms of the number living in a unit area. That is the density of population. While the density of population for the world is about 45 people per square kilometer, it rises to as much as 9,294 people per square kilometer in Delhi, over 600 people per square kilometer in parts of eastern the US, less than 1 per square kilometer in the Sahara Desert or the Canadian tundra region. So we can say density of population is also depend upon the availability of resources, the areas which is rich in fertile plains, availability of transport, availability of medical facilities, education, all such types of factors are responsible for the density of population. The areas where is favorable condition for the human habitation, people like to migrate or settle in these areas. So how do we find the density of population of the area? That is very simple, which we are going to know. First of all, we measure the density of population per square kilometer. Actually, per square kilometer density क्या है? On this ground, we find out the density of the population of that particular region. Suppose that Delhi's population is very much, but the population of Rajasthan is less as per square kilometer. Because people don't prefer such areas which is harshly populated, harshly climatic condition is very harsh, and availability of resources and other type of sources is very less. That's why the density of population differs, that is not evenly distributed. Sahara Desert of Canadian tundra per square kilometer density population is very different. Let's see this density of population. Total population upon total area in square kilometer is equal to people per square kilometer. First of all, total population. So for the total area in square kilometer, we will find out the total area in square kilometer. After that, people per square kilometer. Per square kilometer, the density of population is what? After that, we count the density of population of that region in this way. Per square kilometer shows the approximate density of population of that region. Let's understand how distribution and density of population are determined by physical factors and non-physical factors like socio-economic conditions and cultural factors. So let's know it. Distribution of density of population are determined. Physical factor and non-physical factors are there. On that ground, the socio-economic condition and cultural factors are determined. On this ground, the density of population is determined. So first of all, physical factors. What is physical factors? Relief. Flat or undulating land in the plains and river valleys have always been the most favored places for human habitation. No doubt about that. This type of area is mostly liked by the people to live there. This explains why the earliest civilization flourished in river valleys. People prefer such locations because that's why all the civilization which flourished or emerged near the river valleys, this was the main factor. They are usually better suited for agriculture and other economic activities. Number two, they allow for better connectivity as it is easy to develop transport and communication facilities here. Plains are appropriate for expansion and settlement. Next, water supply from rivers is abundant for all types of work. Next, these areas usually have a better climate suited for development and growth of human population. In highlands and deserts, on the other hand, the difficulties of terrain, cold climate, lack of facilities, and non-availability of resources do not allow any significant economic activity. Poor transport system and connectivity also pose a big problem. Next, soil. Fertile soils, for example alluvial, are suitable for large scale farming, so river plains tend to have larger population than areas with poor sandy soils. Climate. A favorable climate with warm summers and cool winters and an equitable amount of rainfall allows for a wide range of economic activities. Such areas in the tropical, subtropical, and even in the warm temperate latitudes favor the growth of population. So climatic factor also influence too much for the growth of the population. So in this way we have got the information about the density of population, distribution of resources, how we can find out the density of population of an area, all such types of which are the factors which influence the growth of the population. So next we shall discuss in the next video, in the next discussion. Till then you have to do your prescribed task. Be prudent, be attentive, and go for better study. We shall be meeting tomorrow with a new video and new explanation. Till then, goodbye and thank you.